Yes.
And it's in the middle of a simulation.
With ESC.
With ESC?
Escape, yeah.
Doesn't work for me.
It's stopped. So if you want to come back, you can stop and then you push on solid, and then you have the same. So push on solid to come back in the visualization without the simulation.
Okay, can you do it one more time?
Yes. If it's solid, the simulation, you have this situation. No? So you have, for example, view on 3D or not, I don't know. The connection stopped, maybe. Let me see. Okay, now it works. Simulation. Okay. So this happened, and then I push in pause, so I stop it. And if it's enough, I just press this. Let me see, just a second. You just push this, and you come back.
Okay.
That is.
Good. And about that, the model, it hasn't been like this. Oh, that, okay.
Yeah, this depends about the view, where you are, but it's the same.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, is there a button to press and see the dimension of the model? Yes and no. It depends what you mean. I mean, let me check. No, the dimension in the model, yes, of course, when you produce the post-processor, you know automatically what is the dimension. Otherwise, you can take a measure about this, by this. There is also another way, maybe. Proprietà. Also in this way, if you want. If we switch on the properties, so and this now we switch on. So also the next time that you open AlphaCam, it's anyway on. And you go on the layer, it's called material. You can see the maximum dimension here.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see me because the connection maybe has some problem today. It's very slowly. Okay, but if you go on material, you will see the maximum position X and Y. So it's the same thing as the dimension. In this case, we have maximum X is 300 and maximum Y is 300 millimeter. Yes? Jacob? Okay, well, stop. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But anyway, here you have also the possibility to check the material dimension here, okay?
Okay.
Okay. And then...
There's no way to like click here and it shows like this is...
The thickness?
Yeah.
The thickness is here.
Or here.
I think is here.
Okay.
Minus 20. Why is minus 20 is wrong? Why is minus 20? Let me see. Simulation. No, it's okay. But it's minus 20. The thickness is minus 20. Do you know if it's right?
It could be that in Fusion I put minus.
Yes, it's minus 20. It's 20 millimeter.
Volume go down. Yeah.
This is maybe because yes, the Fusion rotate the thickness, but it's 20 anyway. You can see here. So in this, you select material, for example, and you have X, Y, and Z. Remember, Z is not yes, it's not minus, but it's plus. But for the measure, it's okay. And when you make this, for example, the output and see or show list in this way, you can see, let me check, it's not easy maybe, but it's here.
There.
3 and 20.
Mm-hmm.
So all the information you could have anyway. Of course, it's possible to add some macro. For example, I can create a button where when I push the button, I have the dimension right as I want. Everything is possible, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It depends. It makes sense because it's the development that costs some money. So it depends.
Mm-hmm.
All the information anyway you have. So I don't think you need something else.
No, this works.
Okay. Can you provide me with a list of how deep a tool? No, I cannot because it depends by the tool.
Okay.
It depends by your tool. So you must understand your tool. You must check your tool. What is the maximum depth? Of course, it's possible to put a safety depth on AlphaCam because I can, if you want. A lot of customers doesn't do that, but it's possible. For example, when I create a new tool, you can define, for example, this one, you can define depth of the cut and maximum depth. For example, if my knife is 50 millimeter, and my maximum depth I want, this tool will work just up to 11 millimeter. If I create a tool like this, when I write on some programs that I want to go inside 12 or 15 or more, the system asks me if I'm sure because I'm over the maximum depth that I write here.
Okay.
So can be a safety, can be, but it depends. Of course, you must take care about your tools and be close to the tool that you have, and if you want, there is a possibility to set it. Why the customer doesn't do every time? Because in my opinion, if you know very well the tool that you are using, maybe you don't need to put the maximum, because when you set for example, if you have to make some routing on the piece and you set all the parameters, you know perfectly if this kind of tool can work 10 millimeters in depth or 11 or 15. Okay, you have the possibilities to put here, so this is like a filter. So if I find some parameter over these limits, I give you a warning. But if I press OK, anyway, the code will be right, because sometimes can happen that you want to go over the parameters that you adjust here. So you can do it if you want. You have or not.
Like,
it depends by you. If you want some with some tools, try to set also the maximum depth, and then you will see if it can help you or not to decide the correct depth, of course.
Okay. But like a 3 millimeter router, for example.
Yeah, of course, 3 millimeter diameter, you have to go down. It depends about the material also. I cannot say one measure or another one. It depends. What is the material that you are using? It's
No
strong wood. It depends, because if it's strong wood, it depends about, I repeat, so it can be with 3 millimeters you have to go down very slowly and you will break a lot of tools, because 3 millimeter is not the right choose. In woodworking machinery, 3 is too little, in my opinion. You can try it. If you have a very, very soft material, maybe, and also about it depends about the depth. It depends, but this is, I repeat, this question, it's the first man that you have to ask with. It's who tried to sell you the tools, because they have a technical data for this tool, and we also with the material that you're working. So they can say, okay, with this kind of material, you can go in this speed in this depth.
Okay.
This is normal. The part that the UCell tools has to answer, because they know the tools that you have. You can try. What happened?
Yeah.
Nothing bad. I mean, you can break the tool. So if I have a 3 millimeter, I go down just one, for example.
Okay.
If you have to answer something, not more than one, because 3 millimeter is wrong, in my opinion. Start to think about, in my opinion, when you can choose nothing less 5 millimeter diameter.
Okay.
So starting point is 5, 6, 7, and when it's bigger, it's better, of course. Okay.
Yeah, the next one is like switching tools between, because this model has 2 different tools.
Yes, because of
Shortcut.
the empty, the pocketing, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I show you? I can show you, no problem. Yeah, I'll show you. Okay, so it's possible to manage different tools. For example, I have a big tools that can work a big area, and then I change the tool and I work with a tool, little one, just for the edge, for example, or the parts where the big tool was not able to go.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the question.
Does it do that automatically?
Yeah, in automatic, of course, must be done. Okay, for example, I want to change this tool and I put a big one. Let me see. I don't save, so sorry, operation. Sorry, I don't see operation. Why? Because maybe you close. Just a second. View. Show all pages. Okay, now I see. Okay, for example, this one is made by diameter 8. Okay, can be enough. Okay, so now the problem is with 8 millimeter. The point is, if you add 8 millimeter is something like this. Okay, this is a 8 millimeter diameter. Of course, 8 millimeter, you don't arrive to clean completely the edge here. But of course, if you work inside, it's not possible to clean completely, because any kind of tool that you use, you have some diameter. Could be a little diameter, but you have. It's not possible to work without. And so, for example, also here, yeah. If you go here, you can also see that it's not possible to go inside, because we will stop up to you have the tangent point on the tool diameter. So when we touch with the tool diameter the 2 points like this and this, I stop, because if I go over this point and I try to clean what is inside here, I destroy your drawing. So I stop before to destroy. So when my tool touch some lines, I will stop it automatically. So this is the best solution that you can do with this kind of tool, the 8 millimeter. If I want to have some better results, sorry, I have to delete this one. Okay, if I want to have another result, so I can go on, just a second, I switch off this, and so I can go on and I can make another time, I can use the same tool, use this tool. Sorry, I have to change it. Right. So I come back to the work. Another pocketing must be switch on this one. It's on. Okay. I must have the same parameter. This is a mistake. Oh no, sorry. You don't have the depth. Let me check. Edit. -10 4 times. Okay. -10 4 times. Okay, change the tool. In your tool, I can see you have, no, you don't have a ladle tool. So the ladle is 8. So I create another one. For example, yeah. For example, I create this one. I don't know what is 50 diameter 4, for example, or yeah, we type with 4 also if it's too little. And then the spade, okay. And this is my tool, 4 millimeter. Close. And this one. So this is the parameters, -10 4 times. And you have to select the same shapes. For example, this and this, for example, and this. Okay, now you can see the second passage. It's just where the first one was not able to arrive. So you clean just the parts where what is not possible to do before with the 8 millimeter.
Okay.
Another thing about the pocketing, you speak about the speed and the simulation for the time to produce it. You can change it also, for example, let me see, machining. Yeah, this is very important to understand. This is the millimeter that the system will eat for every passage. And it's the default settings, it's the radius. So if I have an area to clean, I just go maximum with the radius. In the wood, it's a lot of passage. You don't need. For example, in this way, if I have 8 millimeter of diameter, like you write, this is the passage, and and the system will, and the system will go just on. I switch off this. I eat just the radius. So the next one is here, and I eat the radius, and I read the radius. So it's not too much. It depends about the material, because if you work with irons or metal in general, maybe you must work in this way, but not in wood. In wood is enough if you, I change it. Let me see, sorry, this one. I decrease the number of the cuts. For example, if I say I have 8 millimeter, for example, with 7, I just go overlapping just 1 millimeter. And so you will see some passage less. Okay.
And this you have to do manually every time?
What?
To optimize, like...
yeah, of course. When you it depends. Okay, maybe it's not the right answer. It depends. If you work with in this way, yes. So you have to go here, like you put the depth, for example, or you put, for example, this. You do manually. And also this you do manually. It depends. You can also make it automatically. Why? How to make it automatically? You can do something with the technologies. I mean, there is the possibilities to set the automatic work. I don't explain now because it's too early, but it's possible to manage automatic all the data for the toolpath.
Okay.
So in the next future, we will see also this point.
But the cleaning, the one you explained now, that's always done automatically. You don't go in like let's see if my mouse functions. You never go in and put like, okay, now cut it here, and here. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
it's not clear. If you can try again.
like if I take like a thicker. Let's see. This one, for example. This is the first one I take.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then it cleans everywhere except all these small spots. You can't take like here, for example.
But you can try. You can try. Change in your first pocketing. Change the tools with this, and see what happens.
Okay. Can I delete?
Yeah. No. You don't need to delete.
Okay, I
just press the right button of the mouse here. Sorry, you have this one. I don't want. With the right button of the mouse, you can edit the work, and for example, you can move the depth, or you can change the tool.
Okay.
So you can change the tool like with this.
Yeah.
And you can say okay, and you will see okay. And you will see that now you have another color. Of course, here you don't have the possibility to go through because it's too much.
Yeah, exactly.
And the second, okay, let me see. Okay, we try this way. I will switch off. Now try to make the second work. So take yourself the tool, for example, the 4mm or 6 as you want. The 8, the 4, 6, as you want.
What makes more sense, to have the 8 one or the 4 one?
Yeah, okay. Take this with 8. Yeah. Double click, and it's okay. And now you go on pocketing again, and go on, for example, level and cut.
Here.
Is the same. Seems to be the same. You can select. Okay. You will select the same shapes. So all the line you have to select, or with Windows, or in this way, no problem. And then, so you have the two. It's like before. It's the same concept. Nothing changed. With 8mm, you arrive here, so you can clean this.
And now I have to take another one again, the even smaller one, to clean everything, all the small spots.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but okay. Just for make a try, it's okay. If you produce this in the machine, you don't do it this way, huh?
No?
No.
Okay.
3 times is too much, but okay. If you want to, the software can manage, of course. Huh?
So you would rather take a thicker one to clean out everything the first round, and then take the smallest one?
Yeah, technically, I don't think you need, but it's possible to do. Of course, yes.
Okay. So this is a stupid way of working. Like
no, it's okay. I think you lose a lot of time, and because you need some resolution on that, it's too much because of the radius. Because anyway, you have a radius.
Okay.
So, but no, stupid is nothing is stupid. Just if it's it works in a proper way or not, but no question are stupid. So
Okay.
it's okay. And you can try the
How
machine
you-
so you can see what is the result with or without the second passage.
Yeah.
So you will see yourself it's good for this kind of work or not good, and you can decide. In
And how
total.
would you have done it
Yeah.
to do it optimally? If you can show, like with the tools I have here in the computer,
Mhm.
is it possible to turn off everything?
Turn off, yes. The work, you mean? Yeah.
Sit here.
This way you
Here,
turn
yeah.
off the.
So if you show like your way of optimally,
No,
doing
it's
it.
not. It's not my way. It's the same thing. I don't. In my opinion, if you have to take 2 times the pocketing, you will take it 2 times, not 3.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can also write that you use 3 times, but it's a little bit strange that you need to pass the same area with 3 different tools.
Okay.
Is nothing wrong, okay, but it's strange because I see the customer doesn't make it more than 2. This is because of the liter diameter can be, for example, I repeat 5 millimeter the minimum, okay. The maximum can be 20, 25, 30, okay. And so with the tool the 5 and 16, for example, you do everything more or less. If you have a big area, for example, you use a 50, 60 millimeter because you have to clean a big area. In this case, maybe you have to go and you have 3 passages can be.
Okay.
So there is not big rules there is not a way correct or not correct in this kind of things. I think after you test in the machine, you have your answer. If it's
Okay, will
enough
make sense
two
with
times or
time.
2 times. So.
Okay. But for this model, for example, which one would you choose? Would you choose the 21 or the 15?
It's the same as you want. It's the same. As you want.
This takes.
Yeah. It depends. It's not just the diameter, the decision. The decision is this tool is good for work, this kind of material. This tool, it's you have the good knife. This tool works better than another one. Can bore, for example. One question is this tool can bore because not all the tool can bore.
Okay.
Can go directly from the top of the panel, the thickness, and go down, for example. There is some tool as not the knife on the head. So you have to test in the machine, in my opinion. You don't destroy nothing. So test very, very quiet because it's you can do it, no problem.
But switching between 2 different tools is better than only having like one small one and
Yes.
the whole thing.
Yeah. Also, this, of course, you save time.
Yeah.
You save time, and it depends about the area that you have to clean. Because if you have a little area, maybe the time for change the tool is the same like the time that you use the same tool for more meters. But in my opinion, in this moment, the point is not how many time take the machine to make this or not.
No.
You will see yourself, no problem. If you want to decrease the time, of course, you can use several tools, and it's right to do this. But if the machine takes 1 minute or 5 minutes to make the panel, in my opinion, in this moment, is not important. You can see here that the time, if you want, with this. This is the time evaluation. You have just to move this parameter to this because it depends about the machine. So 25,000. And if you want the tool changer, this is the time for make a tool changer. Yes, 27 can be okay, but it's more or less because it depends about the position of the tool. Not all the tool changer have the same time. It depends about the position, more or less. It's like here you have the load unload time, 1 minute. maybe it's too much. So it's something like can work. For example, the system takes for cutting. Let me see. For cutting time, 9 minus 0.41, for example. Yeah, can be near to the truth. With all the tool, I mean, and here you have all the tool, and for all tool you have evaluation of the time.
Good.
And you can also create a report.
Very good.
You can print, you can for every kind of tool you have your report with the time. You can understand what is the tool that you choose, so you can also put in the project to understand which kind of tool you need in production. The parameter that you put, for example, this is maybe too much, 24,000 RPM. So you can have a situation for every report for every kind of work that you do.
Super useful. And you mentioned also that TPA had a different.
Yes. What is the difference between the system? Just one. When you create a tool, remember the system works in millimeter per minute, and in the distance the system works in millimeter, as you know. In TPA they change one thing about the speed. I don't like why they change, but it's like it is. And so you have to remember that when you work in AlphaCam is, I think it's the best way to think about, because also the speed is in millimeter. So when I create a tool, define tool. I create a new tool, and for example, is the tool number, I don't know, 111. The length is, for example, this, and diameter this. Okay. I set for the speed, so the revolution per minute is the same. For example, 18,000. There is not any kind of changement between AlphaCam and the machine. This is the speed for the XY when the XY moves on the panel inside. And so if you write 2 meters per minute in TPA, here you have to write 2000. And it's like the speed with the ZX. If you write on the machine 0.5, something like this, here you have to write 500. Then the system will make automatically the conversion. So the system will divide automatically for 1000. But remember that when you create something or you set a speed in the machine works in meter per minute. AlphaCam works in millimeter per minute.
And you said that you could change that permanently.
If you want, yes, but
yeah, that could be easier for me.
Yeah, it's not usual to change. It's a stupid thing to change. It takes 1 minute for me. I don't know if it's right to change it, but okay. No. If you want, the next time we will. The problem is
your post. In TPA it can be changed.
Sorry.
It's only in AlphaCam. In TPA it can be changed.
No. In TPA it's not possible to change. I don't want to change because otherwise you have a machine different. So they must change, but we don't want to move it. Better to, if you have to change, better to change in AlphaCam, because it's you don't have a spatial software in the machine. You have just a spatial software in AlphaCam, so it's a spatial post processor. So it's okay, but it's not so dangerous if you understand well the machine. But okay, let me see one thing. is this.
Okay.
So you have just to don't divide for 1000 and that's it.
Okay.
So it's easy to do. Okay.
That's good to know.
We take some weeks. I want to wait a little bit to change it. So the next time, because you have to regenerate again the license, and we have to change the post processor. So we speak also a little bit about this. If Tom is working in the license anyway and produce some toolpath for the machine, we have to arrange also for him about this point.
Could be.
Because you have to change all the parameter in the tool. Because after the modification, of course, you have to come back here in your AlphaCam, in your list, in your AlphaCam, and you have to change in your list all the parameter, because in this case you don't have, but normally you must have. And when you have here 18,000, and normally you put in this way because it's a standard for us, after the modification of the post processor, we have to do something like this. Okay, so also Tommy has to change the parameter, otherwise the post processor will be the same with the same modification in both cases, but he has to change all the parameters he has in the tool list, otherwise it's a big problem for us. Okay, so speak about this point with him so we can take a decision. If you want, we can change, no problem.
Okay.
So I wait for this point when when we find an agreement with Tommy about this, huh? Because he has also to change the speed, Z and YX.
Okay, that was all of my questions. But yeah, I can't use the CNC machine now because they're using it every day almost.
Okay, yeah. So work on the machine, of course, it's a good idea. I think it's important to work in the machine to understand all the procedure and so on and so on. Of course, you can call me when you're in front if you need some information or can appear some mistakes or something else. No problem, you can call me. So I think Niklas works a little bit with the machine, makes some.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have also his little experience maybe, but you have, so it can be interesting to
But do you think I can use it for myself? Like I come.
You must start with yourself, of course.
Yeah.
So of course, when you have to produce some parts. But not just one. So produce and put in the machine. I don't know if it's a panel that you need for your production or just for take practice with the machine as you want, no problem. But you have to start with work to the machine, of course.
Okay.
Because there is some parts that is not possible to explain. You have to try.
Because otherwise, maybe we could do a session when he goes home from work, and then I come afterwards when the CNC machine is free to use, because they're using it every day now.
Yeah, okay, but it's important to start with and work with the machine to understand how it works. You don't need to work 8 hours per day. Up to you understand the way to work. So how to put the pieces on the machine, how to set to the position of the good position for the vacuum caps. When you have a big panel and the depth can destroy the caps, how to do? To understand. How to change a parameter for the tool inside Albatros, how to create a new tool in Albatros, how to create a new tool in AlphaCam. So this is all the procedure that you must touch the machine for understand the good way. So take time to start in the machine and And after, you can also take care about one really project, so really a part that you must work in the machine. If they have to produce, for example, a cabinet, and you have part of the panel already done and you want to work it, yes, okay, we can take a look and work.
Okay. Yeah, I can ask Nicholas
Yes,
how to do it.
yes, right.
But, yeah.
Because now the point is not, I don't think it's necessary in this moment to go on and on in AlphaCam. Doesn't make
No.
sense. The point is how to manage all the situation in the machine, because also if you work some part like this, no problem. But for example, the way to work of the machine, the 0A, and I want to settle to 0B, what happened if I work in the other side of the machine? Or I want to work in both sides. Maybe you don't need, maybe yes. And I repeat, also try to change tools, check the tools. What is the right depth of the tools, as you ask me? This is the question when the customer doesn't know how to work this kind of material. Yes, so, and it's not right that I answer because I don't know. If I'm in front of the machine, I have, for example, 3mm diameter, I say, okay, I try with a really low depth, and you see what is the time that this doesn't break, and will break for sure. So also a connection with the seller of the tools can be interesting to have.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to take practice with the machine, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. But, yeah, you don't have anything to add in AlphaCam for now?
Yes, just testing the machine, in my opinion, and play with both systems. So of course, play with AlphaCam and the machine. So you produce something, you put in the machine. I think, as I see, you produce drawings. I don't know if you passed every time through Fusion 360, or you produce something also here.
No, every time, Fusion.
Can be also interesting that sometimes you forget to have 360 and produce automatically here, but okay, you know, it's also a big argument. So I don't want that we lose the target in front of us.
No.
So the target is I have to do something easy and go in the machine.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go
very useful.
Right. Because when you want to go in depth, of course, there is a lot of things to say. But we have not to forget that the point is produce something in the computer and go in AlphaCam, through AlphaCam go in the machine and produce the part.
Okay. Good. But, yeah, I can ask you later when I've spoken to Nicholas.
Yes, no
When
problem.
it's ready.
Take your information also with him. You know that I'm in the office more or less all the week. Maybe just one day, one morning I'm not here, but I will tell you. Tomorrow it's okay, for example. And I'm here more or less every day between 7 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. More or less it's like it is.
Okay.
So you can contact me when you want.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good.
That's it. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, Jack.
You.
Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao,
See you.
ciao.